boy Donville.
Guys, back. Yo, the week has been interesting in things that it's been very interesting to me, and to I always like to say to a lot of people in different ways. I think I want to touch on the first thing that really bothered me was I don't want to get into the political things, but I'm going to talk about people wasting money in different things, because I did see the Democratic Party. They went out and did their little thing in there. Is it the Kente cloth, Just to make sure.
Kente cloth.
Kente. I always say it wrong.
Kente cloth. And these people decided that they were going to come out and kneel. Now, I want you to understand, and just before we get into what the Kente cloth means and why the first thing that they should not be wearing it and kneeling in it in the first place is that the money that was spent for a small unnecessary demonstration. Not saying it wasn't necessary, but for a small unnecessary demonstration, and they could have walked out into a free, peaceful protest and put on a jeans and a t-shirt like regular people, and probably kneel down for free.
Nah, that would cost more money.
That would cost more money, right, Donville?
They get senators. They have security at all times.
Oh, so
I mean, to me, the money thing is so minuscule. Like, these people, they expense dinners, all types of. They spend money every day on foolishness. So the Kente cloth cost doesn't affect me. It's just the fact that it was Kente cloth. Like, yo, what are you doing? Like, that was, man. I just want to see what the black person involved in that whole transaction.
The Amazon order.
Yo,
I just want to see their face when they saw Ken take off. Like, what?
Yo, but Donville, they did not do. I'm gonna say this, and this is the reason why these people don't think, because you think for people who gets paid to do research and information before they decide to use something, right? And Nancy, you pride yourself in being so smart, my bro. Come on.
Does she?
Yeah, she does. She does. She prides herself on that critique that she's smart, and it was hurtful. I was looking at him like, yo, guys, like, are you serious? Are you serious? And then I had to. Was it? I don't think it was Chuck Schumer who put the cloth out. I'm not sure who that one was. Who put the kneeling cloth because his suit.
Oh yeah.
You know, and the thing that was funny to me, she got up and she was like, I can really see how it affected George Floyd, because I was down there and my knees was hurting me. So just to be down there for that, and I'm looking and I'm like, y'all peoples is disgusting. Like, there's a legislative that needs to be passed.
That's 100% pandering.
Yeah, that definitely.
Yo, what dog? And I want to say this, guys. I'm gonna keep it real. This is the reason why I don't watch the news. You know, I would like to not to plagiarize the information Janice is giving me. I spoke to Janice this morning. Janice has said a lot. I think she said a lot for multiple people in different sides of the spectrum, especially people on the other side who has their feeling towards what's going on in a broader spectrum. And I think one of these days we have to, Donville, I want to drag her on here. That's the reason why I'm saying this right now, because she got a lot to say. So I want to say that, but she's opened my eyes. She said a lot this morning about things that needs to get done, that can fix a lot of these things. But Donville, can you please give me a little bit of history in this Kente cloth so I can understand what these people are trying to support?
There's no history to be given. I understand the correlation between Kente cloth and you being a senator. It just baffles my mind. But in the high level, in Kente cloth, it's African traditional garb.
Right.
It's used in African ceremonies,
right?
To some of them are used to notate, certain status within society in Africa. It has no correlation to police brutality here in America. It's like, I don't understand what they were trying to do, where they're trying to go with it. I don't understand. Like, maybe they should have, been doing some dances, or it would make more sense they have like HBCU T-shirts on or something.
That would be yes.
Than the Kente cloth.
It would have.
But
just wear Black Lives Matter shirt or something that says BLM. Like, that would make more sense in America right now than a Kente cloth that looked like you're extra from Coming to America too.
It's Trevor. You think that was a dress rehearsal?
Yeah, probably. We don't see that scene.
Yeah, no, they're gonna use it.
They got to.
No, so all right, guys. I'm gonna tell you. To me, not to say anything. I know the money was very minuscule to what was going on.
Yeah.
But I felt like it was money being wasted and time being wasted, and people's time that could have been spent on addressing proper issues.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That could have been done. And you know what? I think a lot of these things that needs to get done. I mean, a lot of people say they don't know what goes on in this office and goes on what this legislative, right? And we don't know what laws are being proposed in certain sense, because we always hear the laws being proposed when it's on the Senate, like it's about to be passed.
They officially, say things. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm not gonna lie, guys. I would like to hear about some of these laws from before. Right? I don't want to wait till you and your homie decide that, you know what, guys, this is worthy of us putting it up there for approval. Yeah. And I do want to know about the laws that doesn't make it to the table. There's a reason why it don't make it to the table, right? Yeah. And I want to know who controls that narrative, because this is some of the areas that we need to improve upon before we can start making the proper changes.
So, what you're talking about is like a grassroots movement.
Yes.
Yeah. And that does work, but at the same time, you got to realize they have these lobbyists in D.C. that pay a lot of money to spend time with these senators and to push their agenda forward.
That's correct.
That's normally funded by big corporations.
That's correct.
So, the grassroots movement does work. It's just that you have to have that force.
That's correct.
High amount of people going towards the same goal, and all you gotta do is just reach out to your senators. I mean, we could all do that, just like they've been doing now with the peaceful protests. You know what I'm saying? You see a large mass gathering of people, like, hey, that perks their ears up. Like, what's going on? Like,
so Donovan, basically what you're saying in this moment is that there's ways for the average person who, in this moment, especially in this moment, who keep saying they're uninformed and they don't know how to gain this information, right? There's very easy and lucrative ways people can figure this information out.
Yeah, I mean, like, I know C-SPAN was boring when we was kids, but like C-SPAN,
it's still boring.
But C-SPAN is like, it's basically like CCTV for the government. Like, you see exactly what's going on the Senate floor at all times.
Right.
Like, that's public information that's there for us in a televised manner where we could watch. But it's just we have to seek knowledge. I mean,
yeah,
we can't expect knowledge to come to us. We have to.
That's correct.
And as you seek, you will find. You know what I mean?
And I'm happy you said it, because I watch C-SPAN, and I'm gonna say this: I watch multiple different news networks because I've come to understand, and not to say anything, everybody have their own narrative that they're trying to push.
Of course,
you know what I mean? Their own agenda. And as I said, I had a wonderful conversation this morning to talk about pawns in the game of chess. But just as much you know what the pawns are, you got to know who the major players is as well. Yeah. Right? Because the pawn is just only as good until it gets taken. You know, and you realize what happened to the pawn. They get taken, thrown in jail, and then somebody else replace their position, and that's what you do with pawns. Right? But you notice that the rook, the king, the bishop, a lot of these people stay hidden for so long to the point that you didn't even know that they existed until it's like, oh yeah, this person's dying right now. And they're like, for real? Oh yeah, he's, lived a wonderful life. This is the cause they've been fighting for, and this is the things that they've done. And you're starting thinking like, wait, hold on. These are some of the legislative that we should have been stopped like 30, 40 years ago. Right? And I've said this, and I want to say this for a lot of this political talk. So just so I can touch and clear my mind. I think personally, I don't want to say my opinion, these 70 and 80-year-old old people. All right, now I love y'all old people. Retirement should be beautiful at that age. Yeah. You know what I mean? I would like for you guys to be sitting somewhere on the beach, right? Playing whatever you like to play, cards, right? And start letting a younger generation who's more intact with the people start looking towards government. I need to see more 40-year-old senators. I need to see a president that's probably like 45, 40 years old, who's more in touch with what goes on with the generation. And I'm not talking about Democrat or Republican. Y'all can pick whoever you guys that pushes y'all narrative. But we need more people who is for the people inside of government. I've seen this less and less over the years. And I mean, yes, I would say this personally, Don, because I said this, I'm a big Bernie fan because I feel like Bernie was pushing my narrative. I love free education. even though education probably will never be free, right? But there are different things that could have been done to change this stuff. Now, I want to talk about something else.
Hold on, let's stay on that topic.
I'll go ahead now.
Yeah, I haven't responded to that. But like Bernie's, he's part of the problem that you're stating. Like he's
go ahead.
Been, you know, in
47, like about 8. He's 80 years old this year.
I don't know, but he's got a very
he old.
Yeah,
you know, in politics, you know, what changes have we seen thus far? You know, so it's part of the problem. But here's another aspect you gotta look at is like it takes money, it takes funding to even get into politics, especially on a federal stage. That's a lot of money in campaigning. Just that.
That's
alone.
correct.
So you have to be able to have those relationships, have those connections, and there are select few that that have been able to at a young age get into that arena.
I think JFK was one. Yeah, JFK was pretty young.
Obama's pretty young, but again, when you get into that arena and you're that young, you have obligations because someone funded you.
That's correct.
Someone pushed you through.
That's correct. They expect their return.
Exactly. They expect return. So there's complications on those ends as well. But you're right. Maybe even a higher turnover of senators and congressmen and women would be better, than what we currently have.
I think they're like 10 years to a seat. They're 10 years before they're up for re-election. I'm going to make sure of that.
Yeah, but they can just keep going for re-election.
They can keep going for re-election, and that's another part of the issue because we basically say that a president can only serve 2 terms.
Exactly.
Right? So why do we have the same people who stop it? Let's just, I want to say.
Like in Supreme Court.
I heard. I don't want to. Well, I mean.
No, I mean. Well,
we're not legal experts here.
No, that's what I make sure.
That, like the president doesn't have to leave after 2 terms. Like that's just a traditional thing.
It's a traditional thing because
I think full out law.
I think Theodore Roosevelt did 3 terms. I think we had 1 president.
Was it because of a war though?
I think it was during war times. Because I do know during war times those narratives were changed, but I think that system was put in. And guys, don't judge me because I'm not political savvy.
Not knowing the facts right now.
Right? And
I think Theodore Roosevelt.
he did 3 terms.
But he was in. It wasn't like he was elected president. Hold on.
Hey, this is the reason why we have these things, man. Because I prefer to have the right information at times, guys, to make sure we're giving the right thing.
The 22nd Amendment says a president can only be elected to be president 2 times for a total of 8 years.
Okay, so it's part of the amendment.
So what if? So here's my thought pattern here. So what if, let's say something happens to the current president, the vice president becomes president.
Yes.
Can that vice president therefore run for election and then run for election again?
That would be a good.
That's what I'm thinking. There could be a loophole within that.
Well, I would say that's a very good loophole. But you're right. You are right.
Because it says you got to be elected. You're going to be elected 2 times.
So in the sense, Downville, I think there's a loophole because in that first sense, you would have served 3 terms, but it would have been 2 terms and a half, right?
2 official terms.
2 official and a half. If you
got pushed in.
Because basically, if something happens to the president, the next person down the chain of command is the vice president. So that's how that works. And you see, actually, that is because you see Joe Biden right now, who's 2 terms as the vice president.
Hold up. Franklin D. Roosevelt was elected president of the United States 4 times.
Oh, see that?
1932, 1936, 1940, 1944. As a result, okay, so that's why. So before FDR,
right?
It wasn't an amendment,
and then
it was just a tradition thing. Like you do 2 terms.
Okay, there we go.
So then after FDR, they made it like official. That's what it was.
I think they did that just to not say they want to stop what happened to FDR, just so they can have a system in place that probably would have helped protected that seat. But you see what I'm saying? These are different things that could have been fixed. Yeah. Just by having a system that's in place that gets to change the narrative. And I'm gonna say this, guys. I see, and I talked about me being harassed by the police force the last time, right? And I see that they try to put new police in different areas, and to me that's a very good thing. But I do think before they do that, they need to have that new police shadow the old police.
There should be proper training.
That's correct.
There should be, as we were discussing with Janice earlier this morning, there should be proper dispatching on the situation.
Yeah.
If there was a person in which all these cases I'm saying, they happen to people and aggressive cops came out and start shooting.
Yeah.
So there should be, like, if there's a mental situation going on, someone's having a mental breakdown, there should be someone that's already trained to handle to calm the situation down.
Yeah.
The first thing first should be calm the situation down. It shouldn't have to be put your hands up. Oh, you're not, pow, shoot, right? Like, there's the same thing, like, say, who are you going to call when there's a fire in your house? You're dialing 911. They already know how to dispatch a fire. You may send it to the fire station. They're going to help you with that. If someone is having a heart attack, you may get ambulance on the way towards your situation. But there should be even more dispatching going on with the, yes, I said, mental illness or domestic abuse or suicide help. Because, again, like, who does a lot of people turn to other than the police? And do the police properly know what to say, what to do, and calm the situation down?
And Trevor, you're saying a lot because, in a sense, it felt like they've been trying to have the police as a one-stop care package shop for what society needs.
Yeah.
Like,
animal control, too.
And no, Trev, it's big because I want to say it like this. You're talking about, you want a police officer to be professor, a doctor, a teacher, a lawyer, a friend, a brother, and a sister, all in that one moment.
Yeah.
Right? And not to take anything away from the average person, that is a lot to ask from one individual.
Yeah.
If homie is a traffic police, he should only be dealing with traffic citations.
Yeah, you should not be able to pull anyone over. You should just focus
you're
on
only if you're
then if there's a situation happen, you dispatch to get the proper employee of the police
you pull him over. Oh, you know what, guys? I run him over. Say you pull him over and homie breaks. He smells like liquor. All right, sir, give me one moment. I'm just gonna run your information. Then you call for the personnel who's an expert in that part of the position. Hey, there's a domestic case going on with domestic violence, and I'm just using that because it's common between all races, right?
It's hard to say,
right? You call a specialist who knows to deal with people's aggressive behavior.
Yeah.
Right? The people who are being trained properly just for these areas. There's a reason why there is specialists.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Police is being underfunded with a lot of things, underpaid to do a lot. So a lot of these people is dealing with regular life and regular personal situations that they have to take to work and do more than what they're asked for. It is a lot.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why, and I'm going to say this is my personal opinion. I'm very, very strong in this one, that the system is run the way it is. There's too many hidden agenda, right? And too many people who sitting at the top making money that they should not be making, driving nice, expensive cars. Right? When you got people who are on the front line who's not properly protected and trained to get their job done.
Yeah, like there was a case where there was someone part of like a higher up in a police force.
Yes.
Not like people that go out. There's like, I forgot the exact titles they had, but because a certain law wasn't seen to be passed, they got majority funding right into their own pocket. So they're going home with $300,000. But until someone was like, their eyes just opened to it many years later.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh crap. No, we gotta
get that money back.
Yeah.
But it's like, no, and the system protects things like that as well, because if I remember correctly, after like 5 or 10 years, it's gone. You can chop it up as collateral. It's just like I learned something very informational about death. Right? Well, not debt like somebody died, like debt like in financial. How the system is rigged to destroy people's credit. Right? And this is just not to sidetrack from what's going on. Trevor, when there's a credit system goes in place that after a year, like if you say you take a cell phone out from a company and you don't pay it off after a year, the company gets that money.
Yeah, they sell it to collections.
No, not even, that's the where I'm gonna get into. Not even say they sell to collection, and this is what goes on with the system, right? People are taking advantage of people in different ways before they decide to help people. It's more of a financial gain,
Right?
All right, because a lot of these companies they get a kickback because it's basically like collateral damage. So when you take their product and don't return it, it's collateral.
Yeah.
They make that. That's why they always wait like about a year. They get that going.
Mm-hmm.
Right, they get their kickback, and then when they're like, "Okay, we made the money that we're supposed to get from you," then they sell it to collections, so they get twice the money.
Okay.
So at one point, you can even call a collection agency and they're like, "Yo, can you prove to me a legal binding contract that I owe you?" They can't because you never legally binding give them any form of information that says you owe them anything. You know, even when the information got sold, you don't
want that collectors.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I was utilizing it in it's in the same sense of what goes on in our society. It's like instead of what's going on is that the people at the top and I'm going to say this in the police force and just in politics in general, they get the money and they're keeping their bread, and instead of trickling it down to where it needs to go to make the right things goes. Because what I was saying a little while ago, Donville, is a sense that they want the police officer to do so much when they really should not be doing as much as they should be doing. They want them to be a one-stop care package that has everything involved. Right, and they can't do that.
True. I think, from my point of view, it's beyond police reform, and it needs to be just wiped out and redone. That's the way I look at it.
Now, I agree.
Because some people might look at it, okay, well, we need to do investigations, polish up the current police force.
Nah, I mean, it has to get shut down.
To me, it's already been proven that, they've been infiltrated by white supremacists. There's, it's already corrupt. So I think we should just have a new police force or a new type of law enforcement that is that has checks and balances.
Yes.
That has community review boards.
Yes.
And
community review boards. I like that one.
That can serve and protect the community to the community standards.
Yeah.
Right.
Basically.
That's important there. That part, community standards.
Yeah. Because you look at it like, I look at it as like, all right, it's in a, in a democracy that we have the ability to seek other alternatives. If we go to Walmart and we don't like the way Walmart's set up, the way the employees of Walmart treat us, we can go to Publix.
Yeah.
We can go to Winn-Dixie. We can go.
Piggly Wigglies.
And because we have alternatives, Walmart can't just say, well. Walmart has to look and say, wait, hold up.
Yeah, that's right.
We got to protect our interests. We need to provide better customer service, lower prices, whatever they do to keep the customers. Same thing should be happening for the police force. I mean, we do it for hospitals, don't we?
Yes, we do.
Hospitals come into communities. We if we don't like the way the hospital is operating and functioning, we say, yo, such as a company, come build your hospital here. We'll go here. We'll go to this hospital because we don't like the hospital. These are standards we're looking for within the hospital to serve our community.
So it's like a mafia.
I think it should be the same thing for the police. Like, yo, if this police department is not treating us fairly, hey, such and such organization, come in, police, our community, and do it in a fair and unbiased way.
Isn't that what Black Panthers was trying to do?
Yeah, they're trying to police their own communities.
Yeah. And then we just get shut down because, well, as we said before, white supremacy and the races are behind it.
Because, government had to control it. You know what I mean? And I think that's how government took control. But, I mean, Donald, I'm not saying it was a graphic picture you just painted it in my mind. I don't want to, let's not say that. But you painted a picture that was very eye-opening. Because I do look at what you just said, and I do think of it as a mafia. Because it's been let's use not the word mafia, like a drug lord. Right? Yeah. A drug kingpin is blood in, blood out, right? So there's just one major organization, because if you look what the FBI deals with, what the CIA deals with, they don't deal with anything that the regular police officer force deals with.
It's federal stuff. If they come in and try to deal with the police officer stuff, they can be told, hey, no, this is not a federal matter. This is left up to
it's a civil matter. Is that the word?
I mean, civil, but it's
I don't know the wording.
It's not federal, state, county. I don't know. I might be wrong. I might be wrong on the terminology.
Yeah.
But I know what I'm talking about as far as jurisdiction.
Yeah.
And the barriers that, federal agents and state troopers and, city police have. Like, certain cities, you can't have like you can't have a Miami cop pull you over in Orlando.
That's correct.
It's out of their jurisdiction. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
My thing is that your local police has to answer to the mayor. That's like their boss.
Yes.
That's how it's structured. And if the mayors aren't addressing it, then that mayor needs to be kicked out.
That's
Whatever
correct.
needs to be addressed. And that's where the politics comes in to where the people locally can affect changes. That's why you have these people going up to certain mayors and saying, "Are you going to defund the police?" Because they're addressing to the person that has the ability
to do it,
to impact direct change into that police department.
I mean, see, and Downville, that's correct, because that's a very eye opener. And I mean, guys, see how these channels are open. I feel like there's things I've asked for. I always ask for more wisdom and different things, and the fact that wisdom can be impacted on people in different ways. To realize that if you don't know the right channels to go through, you ain't gonna get there.
Right.
Because this is really what it is. It's because a lot of people are misinformed, and a lot of people, and I was like, I don't want to use the word stagnant. It's sitting here waiting for somebody else to get it done, and you can't sit there and wait for somebody else to get it done. You gotta know how to get it done yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We talked about seeker of knowledge, right? If you're not going out to go find these stuff, you're not gonna get it. It doesn't come to you. And I've talked about multiple times why I don't watch the news, because I want to say this: I can't let the news control the narrative for me. I can't let you dictate what I need to know, right? What I need to see, and for me to understand what's going on. But I would say this, guys: it is important to watch the news as well, because they do leave breadcrumbs to what narrative they're pushing. So if you ever want to understand it, instead of being a pawn in a situation, you don't know exactly what to do, right? Because for one, I'm not gonna lie. Not saying I didn't start looking into stem cells until I started seeing it on the news.
Right.
I want to make sure I push that narrative more than so much.
Let me interject real quick.
Go ahead, Don.
So like the news does have its benefits, but it leaves out a critical part of gathering information.
Yes.
And that is being able to challenge the person that's giving you information. It's like you go to a classroom, and I think we've probably all been through a situation like this before, and your teacher says something, and you're like, "Yo, what? Hold up." Mm-hmm. He said, and the kid might yell out in class, "No, that's wrong. That should be like 8 plus 6 is 14. Mm-hmm. You had an error there." Mm-hmm. The news doesn't allow for that. So they can go say whatever they want, and you might have somebody saying, you know what I'm saying, in their home say, whoa, that's wrong. Like, that's not right. But it doesn't get to the news fast. They might come the next day, later on in that day maybe, and say, oh, we made a mistake. They might do that. Yeah. How often do we see that?
Didn't that just happen with George Floyd, about him and the guy that killed him, like, knowing each other from this being bouncers? That's
not true?
That's not true.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, the
guy mistook George Floyd for someone else.
Well, Trevor, the lady who owned the business that they were working for, she's the one who came out.
Yeah.
And spoke, because she knew the officers, and she was like, oh yeah, because but what did say is that even though they technically would have worked together, they would never really see each other. They never really
or at least something like that.
Yeah,
they did perform work in the same venue.
Yes,
but it's not like they were working side by side.
They were not working side by side.
A lot.
So they said George Floyd was like an inside bouncer.
Yeah.
So he was more inside, and I mean that's the reason why people knew him the way they knew him. It was more like a little friendly guy. They're like, oh, anything happened. So he was an indoor bouncer, and then the other police guy, as an off-duty cop, he does the outside work.
But I have a friend that did comment on that, and he did say, like, and I've been in the club scene as well, and he's been in the club scene for a very long amount of years, and that interaction is unavoidable, because when you have a fight, that is when the police come in. and they do whatever they need to do if the indoor bounce. So they have and we know that fights do happen in clubs. Mm-hmm. So when a fight does occur, they have to have that interaction. So to say that they never saw each other, never interacted, I don't believe that. To say they never worked together, of course, yes, that's believable. So I say they never interacted. I don't know. That's
that would be hard, especially in clubs. And
the clubs ain't that big.
I mean, you're correct in that sense. And I'm not gonna lie. I felt like that situation that happened there. Yeah, it was something waiting for happen. I felt like the police, and I'm gonna say this, guys. This is me being judgmental, and not to place judgment in your heart. When you watch the video, it felt like the officer knew exactly what he was doing, and he had a motive to do it.
Yeah, there was no empathy. No one does something like that and puts their hand in their pocket.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Oh, that's a snippet from the David Chappelle. Well, David Chappelle said that last night too, about like the rest of y'all cops were just your hands were in your pockets, just. Who are you talking to?
Trevor, I need you to expand on what happened on this Dave Chappelle special. Go ahead, please.
Man, that was a great special.
I'm gonna go home and watch.
The special was called 8 minutes 48 seconds, 46 seconds. 46. Yeah, right. It was an outside venue. Everyone was social distancing, masked on in his hometown, and the way he came at it, like. I mean, there was like maybe one or two times I bust out laughing. Yeah, because he's naturally funny.
Yeah, but you can even tell he was even like, I can't believe I just laughed.
Yeah,
that was weird. You know what I'm saying? You can tell it was weird for him to even laugh in what he was saying because it has so much depth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but he was more like he addressed how people were saying that they want to hear the voices of the celebrities and the famous black people. They want to hear their voices around the time that he kind of put a great point on it on how, listen, we're backing you, but you don't need our voices. The people in the streets is what's matter.
Listen to these people in the streets. Don't listen to us. Nobody cares what LeBron James has to say. Nobody and it's no disrespect to the celebrities. Yeah. But nobody cares about what y'all gotta say.
Yeah, like I'll put an example. Like, people are mad that Kendrick Lamar haven't said anything yet. Why are you holding all your buckets on one person when there's so many people out there saying the right thing at the right time? We shouldn't just put it on someone just because, he's very conscious. Yeah. Like, Pimp the Butterfly is perfect for this moment right now.
And it goes back to what I was saying last week, like, about this generation and the young kids. Like, if I were to say anything to these young kids, I'll be holding them back.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll be telling them, no, you gotta chill out. Like, nobody, no one's gonna come into these protests and say, hey, no, you guys gotta step it up even more.
Yo, and that's
a fact. But that's
how
they feel. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if we're coming, only thing we're gonna come and say is, oh, you gotta do it a more diplomatic way, or you gotta do it this way. Nah, let them do what they need to do, man.
Yeah.
It might not be 100% right or whatever, but they're the ones risking their lives out there.
Yeah, exactly.
How we gonna tell them, oh, you gotta risk your life in this certain way, and I'm sitting back here in my house protecting my interests?
Right.
Yo, that's facts, because as bad as it sounds, all the people I've been talking to who's really been out there, Trev, it's young people.
Yeah.
I'll talk to, and
I felt old when I was out there.
Trev, it's not even that. Trevor, how many times have you been out in protest?
So far one. I'm about to go to another one.
You see what I'm telling you?
Yeah.
The young crowd.
I would just want to be there in support in the background. Like, hey, do y'all thing, young king. Do y'all thing, young queen.
Trevor, for the young people, it's 4 and 5 already.
Yes,
7.
At least every weekend.
At least. Twice a week they are protesting. I'm like, yo, what do you mean? And I'm like, yo, you gotta chill. Like, you gotta go to work. Dudes are like, yo, I left for work and I'm on my way to the protest. Like, are you serious? You're like, yo, I'm fighting for a cause that I feel like I heard my dad talking about when I was growing up.
Yeah.
You feel me? It's like if he's talking about it, if he talked about it and I'm still dealing with it in my generation,
that's gotta stop.
It's gotta stop.
Yeah.
And I was talking to someone, and the thing that they said most and foremost, It's like I'm tired of living in fear. I'm tired of seeing the police and starting to and to wonder, is today my day? Like on my way over here, I'm driving and the police started pulling up behind me and I just started going mad slow. So at one point I got to the light turned green and I started going 10 miles an hour. And then he started flashing his light and then I pulled to the side and he asked me, is everything okay? And I was like, well, Mr. Officer, I felt unsafe. And he just kept on driving. And I was like, you be making stuff so obvious. I'm like, it's not even like I'm making it obvious. It's just like, it's like when you pull up behind me, I really don't know what's about to happen to me now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Family or no family in the car. It's just like, is that where do we go now? It's like, if I get pulled over, is this it? Is this a tour? You know what I mean? And I by the look at his face, you can tell he's done with it too. He doesn't want to keep feeling like every time he pulls somebody over, they think they're going to die. I mean, I wouldn't. You feel what I'm saying? And if this is not the proof that we need to fix these things, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Gotta look at the times we're in as well, because that has a huge effect on the results we're seeing. And I think there's at least two things here going on. One is that it feels like time is just speeding up. Like it's every single day you can see what's going on in the world and something changing every single day.
Mm-hmm.
It's a huge difference from even us growing up, how things were. It'll be like probably once a week things will change. Mm-hmm. But every single day we're seeing something new and things are progressing and things are happening. And then also you have the fact that this younger generation, their thing is instant gratification.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, that can be a bad thing because they want things instantly, but it can also be a good thing because when they're on the right side of the battle, when they're wanting to see progressive change occur, they're going to want to see it like now. Like, what are y'all doing?
Yes.
What y'all sitting your hands for? Let's get this done now. And that's what we're seeing now. It's like that impatience is butting heads with the system.
Right.
Yo, damn it, that was powerful right there. Because that's one thing I've had many conversations with, and one of the reasons why I think politics is not winning, it's failing with this generation, is because they want stuff now, and politics tells you to wait. Yeah, it's like we're seeing everything going on, and you got these people on TV and social media talking about November, like, like bro, do you know? Hold up, man.
Yeah.
Do you know what has happened to our world in the past 3 months? What? You tell me to wait
till November?
4 months? 5 months?
Sit there quietly at my house for 4 months.
Like, what do you expect?
Yo, but I want you guys. So, guys, I want you guys to understand. This is a military tactics. This is military. This is called wearing your opponents or your people down. Yeah. If you guys go into I'm gonna use a UFC fight as a terminology, right? And you start dropping that body weight on somebody when you're fighting them. You know when you're fighting somebody and you've been fighting for some times and you start getting tired, you can't throw that jab hard enough. That hook you can't swing that. You know, wearing down, you're weak. This is what the system has been doing to us. Because when we get like this, we're hyper with energy. And they keep telling us to wait. And we got to the point where we're sitting here waiting and they're weighing down on our emotions. And we get to a point where we're like, man, they ain't going to do nothing no more, dog. Yeah. And then we just quit and stuff. And when we get to that point, I want you to realize it's always the time when we get to the point where we're like, man, it's over, man. I ain't doing nothing. Something got passed. And you're like, wait, what got passed? Oh, yeah, you remember that law that you've been waiting for? Oh, they went out and voted for that yesterday. And you're like, dog, I've been waiting months for that. Yeah. You know how come? You see what I'm telling you? Because they wait. It's systematic to tell you that it's going to put you into a mental space when you don't think it's important. But the one thing that they really, really, really wanted you to pay attention to, not all the other legislators, not all the local leaders that gets voted in place. You don't hear nothing really about that. Yeah. President election time come around, we're voting for the president. But you're like, yo, but hold up. His thing is made up of the electoral office. We talked about it, right, Donville?
Yeah. Electoral college.
Electoral colleges, the people who are put in place. Where were you when these people were being voted for?
Right.
Where were you? I'm telling you this. My mother-in-law is a very big advocate of voting. Yeah. So my wife votes for all of the small officials that goes on around here. Mm-hmm. You feel what I'm saying? She makes sure, baby, we're going to go vote. So I'm not going to lie. This is going to sound disgraceful. And I'm going to take the L on this one. Guys, look at me. I'm taking the L on this one. I've voted for a couple people that I don't even know what their motive was for. Mm-hmm.
You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. Just because my wife was like, "This is how we're voting for, baby." You get what I'm saying? And I went out there and I took L's in that, and I'm kicking myself in the butt right now because I'm like, probably if I would have took the time to understand what homie's legislative is and what narrative he was pushing, we would have cast this vote a little bit better, right? And then they lost a little thing, and she's like, "Babe, yeah, you see, that's just one more person we're gonna lose towards what you know what I mean? The narrative that our family would like to be seen pushed." And then you start realizing, like, hold up, but when you go to the voting booths for these little small things, there ain't no line. You feel me? You walk right in. It's probably you and the one guy like, "Hey, bro, you made it." He be excited to see you. Like, yo, he runs to give you the pen. Like, dog, here you go. This pen been waiting for you all day. Yeah. But show up during election season for the presidential election.
In the line, it's jam packed.
It's jam packed.
You don't hear nothing until about like almost 11 o'clock at night on who won. Oh, yeah. Like it's like a lot.
And the thing is, they know the game. Like, cause even our city, they talk about it too. They're like, "Oh, well, why didn't this thing get passed? Like, it was such a good thing, and we just didn't see the voter turnout that we expected." Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then the mayor would just say like, "Hey, it wasn't an election year. Yeah. If this were to be brought up in an election year, it probably would have got passed because everybody would have came and saw, well, this is going to benefit me. Let me vote yes for this." You know what I'm saying? But you have, since it's not election year, you have people that have their certain interests that are vigilant and seeing what's going on. Yes. And they're like, "No, but I don't want that. Let me get my group of people together. Let me tell them about it to vote no against this." You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think there's also a miseducation on what is on the ballots every year, because there is, say, like, we'll just call spade a spade. There's a lot of people that don't know what they're voting for. They always vote for a president because that's what they see on TV all the time, right? What needs to happen is there's say if there's a bill in your local area or even state, right? There should be ABC explanation on this bill. Facts. And then break it down onto what happens if this passed and what happens if it fails,
and what it addresses in a sense.
Yeah, and also put it onto the candidates. Like, say, if it's the mayor of a local city, what they're fighting for, and put it or list it down so at least you know who you're siding with. Because like as you saying before, I had that many times where I went to. Like the 2 times when I voted for Obama, right? I said, "Okay, Obama, yeah, got you." All the rest of them, who are you? Like, I don't know.
Like, what do you do?
And I'm sorry, like that at that time, I wasn't educated on to where to get the information.
Yeah, check that ballot out before you.
Yeah. Well, and it's not even that. I'm gonna say this, and this is the part that I can't stand. These nasty legislative senators, you see, whenever they want a bill that they really, really want to pass that provides their personal gain and narrative, you will hear that bill gets pushed and they'll highlight the specific areas that benefited them.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, strategy. It's straight chess.
But you see, down. You remember when I was saying to you earlier that, and I know it would have been difficult for us to understand what's being proposed. Yeah, this is what needs to happen. You see, before some of these bill gets to even go put on this, go to the Senate, the people, we the people need to know about this bill before it gets there. The people need to be like, you know what, that's a good bill for you guys to propose, but it doesn't. It
doesn't always work.
It never happens that way.
No, it does sometimes because, like, even with the stimulus stuff. Senators, for the second round of stimulus they were proposing, they made sure they pushed out. I'm such and such, and I'm pushing forward. This stimulus bill is going to take care of all student debt and all this type of stuff. But they don't mention like all the other stuff that is not so popular that's in the same exact bill.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So they'll do it in a certain way to benefit their agenda. You know,
but we need unbiased of what that bill is. Yeah. That's what I dream of.
Sure, that's correct.
I could copyright if this is actually a way we could do it. But if we can make an app Because everyone's not gonna go to your computer anymore.
Yeah.
You're gonna go to your phone. If there was a simple way to say, okay, type in your zip code.
Yep.
Break down. Okay, what's the your election? It tells you. It sends a notification when that election is, when the early voting is, where you need to go for your voting. Then breaks down. All right, this is what's happening this term, and what's all the no hidden agenda behind it. Like, yeah, of course, there's going to be stuff hidden because a lot of these legislators are not going to show everything. They're going to show all their
They don't
cards.
always do what they say anyway. So
Yeah, but you always want to know the basics of what that is.
yeah, what this person said.
Should I say yes or no to this?
Sure, that's a very wonderful idea. And you know how we talk about
If stuff was being organized, right, it would be a little bit better. Yeah. You see, with something like that, because they expect the news to get it done. In a generation like this, where people spend majority of their time on their cell phones or with their smart devices, this is a wonderful way to get in. And I'm not pushing no political narrative. And this is where parents get involved with their young 18-year-olds, right? Yeah. Who feels like they really want to make a change. Like, if you really want to make a change, this is where you sit down and you explain to them, right? I know you're out there fighting, you're protesting, and I'm all for you. I'm gonna say that to my child. So I'm not telling you to tell your child to protest or not to protest. I mean, however you run your household, you go ahead and do so, right? But I'm gonna tell my child that is all good and gravy. But these are the issues this is where you fight. Yeah. Right? And if you want to understand what your person that you're going to be voting for, what legislative they're pushing, and what agenda they have, you go seek that person out. You go look up their information. Matter of fact, I think Downville, you said something about C-SPAM. If I do remember correctly, a lot of these councils, when they do happens, right, they're open. No one ever shows up because no one cares about when they're having their little mini open debate. So you can go there and find these information.
No, people show up, man. People show up. It's just that some people don't care.
Don't care.
True.
But they have, like, even your city council, they have to do a what do you call it? They have to post their agenda. So at minimum, you have to be able to see what they're talking about, because there's an agenda for every single city council meeting, and they say, okay, this is the opening. These are what's
you talked about. Yeah.
And this is any remarks made by citizens. When you make a remark, you have to say, I'm a citizen of whatever city. This is my address. This is my remark. And at the end of those meetings, you have somebody, just like when you're in court, is taking notes on everything that's discussed, and then you have your meeting minutes. And that stuff is posted on our city council website. I don't make it to all the meetings, but I check. When I know there's a big issue, I check the agenda and I check the minutes to see what was talked about. And then even nowadays with technology, our particular city has Facebook Live where they stream it.
Right.
On Facebook Live, you can go back and watch it even after the fact. And you can make comments on that from Facebook.
Yeah.
So there's no reason that we should not be at least have a minuscule amount of engagement with our local governments. I mean, I know that every government might not be as technology advanced, has advanced technology like ours, but at minimum, I mean, since I was in high school, because my social studies teacher was the one that brought this up to me, at minimum, you can go into those city council meetings. They're all open doors. You can walk in and just sit there and watch.
Yeah.
And that's that's not even just city council. That's any government meeting or even the judicial matters. You can sit there and just watch to see what's going on in your community.
And you see, Donovan, that's really what it is right there. Because you can't go fight guerrilla warfare if you don't even know anything about the guerrilla. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You can't go to war and fight if you don't have an idea what your opponent or what your teammate does in the arena. You have to understand what's really, really going on with that part of the objective. And now, you see how you said that's lost? That's where it's really lost. Because, yes, I can say this. A lot of people, as I don't want to say as mistaken, right? I've not taken the opportunity to learn. I would like to say this based on what the world is going on now. That's where I will challenge people to start pushing their narrative. I know we're talking about the grassroots, but I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna go back a couple years.
I remember when
I think it was when McCain, was it McCain who ran against Obama the last time?
John Kerry, right?
No. John Kerry was against Bush.
McCain was the first time. The second time, Mitt Romney.
Mitt Romney. Okay, all right. I want to remember, after Mitt Romney lost his election, the Koch brothers, right? They said that they're going to go ahead and invest into the more local office, right? Yeah. They pulled their major investment, and it hurt a lot of major political players when they decided they're not going to fund the top, they're going to fund the middle and the bottom from the grassroots, which benefited the Republican Party dramatically. We've seen these city lines got changed in different ways. These district lines, right? Yeah. Where it's benefited more based on who was put in place. This is why the Electoral College, to me, Donville, I want to say this, was won the way it's won. The money got invested in the right ways. If we, the people, want to make the change, right? The same aggressiveness that we want to take to the final part of the race of the presidential election, the same energy that we're giving that, we need to give the same energy to the front of the line, not the back.
You're right, but man, I think in essence it boils down to people gotta stop being sheep.
No, it is all right. So
that is the real problem.
So all right,
hold up, because if right now they came out and they said on the news, this mayor of such and such did this and he needs to be removed, you'll have a bunch of people at his doorstep demanding that he be removed. And same thing if we say, if the news says, hey, this presidential election is going to be the most important of our lives, and we need to vote for whoever in this election. People are going to do that. People need to stop being sheep and look at your own interests. Look, my dad taught me this. Look at reality. Look around you. Analyze that, and look at what's affecting you in your personal life, and you make the decision to prioritize. Is the president election going to be a number one impact on my life? Is them picking up trash 2 days a week going to be impactful to my life? Is them fixing the roads going to be impactful to my life? Like, you have, as an individual, you have to take responsibility and look around and say, how is my livelihood, how is my wellness, my well-being being affected? And then you direct your resources, your time, your money, efforts into the avenues that will benefit your life.
That's correct.
Right.
So when I say like grassroots, like, yes, it is grassroots because it has to be. If it's not grassroots, then you're basically doing work for somebody else. You get what I'm saying?
Yes. So Donville, you said something very important right there, and I forgot who I was talking to. I was talking about I think it was a city councilor. It's one of the city mayors, and they were talking about how there's no change that was done in their city in the last like 20 years, right? And the same person who's been in office, who sat and hold that seat, I guess as a mayor, has been holding that office the whole time, and based on how everything is going on, been staying quiet. And she was like, how everybody wants change. And she was like, you know what? Because of this situation, I'm going to go ahead and look up all the local legislative, like who's up for election. Yeah. And I mean, and she realized that the same person who's been holding the seat, who has done no change, is up for election this year. Yeah. Right? And even though he hasn't done nothing, he's still up for re-election. And nobody's highlighted or paid attention to it. So the same narrative that everybody's technically trying to stop, right, is not going to be stopped because the power people, the small power players in place is not being turned around. They're just sitting there collecting the bread, and they're not being challenged. You know what I mean? And this is where the agenda gets pushed, because when these people are sitting in their position for so long, the conversation comes up, and I'm not saying to judge everybody's character, but when you take a position where you have to be a leader of the people, your character will consistently be judged. You can't stop that, right?
But public figure, anything.
But you feel what I'm saying, Trev? But what interest a lot of them get at that moment? They stop being interested in the people. Yeah. They stop thinking for the people. All right, so I love Alexia Cortez, right? Ocasio Cortez, if I say her name correctly. In the beginning, right? And I'm not to jab her right now because I like hearing all of them speak, right? In the beginning, she was very, very, very much open. Like she spoke a lot. Mm-hmm. You right? Since she's gotten her seat out there in New York, not that she hasn't spoken, but to me, her voice is tremor. She went from somebody who was very confrontational, right? Who wanted to be an aggressive political figure, where it's more like, you know what I mean? She's riding that political line, and I know that's a balance she's probably dealing with in her personal life. But you start seeing a lot of these senators go through the same issue when they want to get their first initial position. They're fighting with the people, and I'm just using AOC because I watched a little documentary on Netflix, and they're showing all the debates that she had at Open Public and all the people she was talking to. One of the reasons why she won is because she was for her people, like her people,
direct in the streets,
directly in the street. You get what I'm saying? And she beat it up. Not a Democrat. She didn't beat a Republican. I want to make sure that she beat it another Democrat who was sitting in office for a whole bunch of years doing the same foolishness that I'm just talking about. That she was like, "Yo, you're a Democrat who's been sitting in this seat for so long, and you ain't bring no change." Yeah, you get what I'm saying? And this is not saying down to the side. I understand why the grassroots thing is a little bit, the narrative is a little bit tight, but those are the people who don't have to go through what the president go through. These people don't. It's not stents to 8 years in a political seat. Yeah, they can sit there as long as they like, right? And then when they get so financially funded and endeavored, they control the small people. And they control the small people because they control small businesses that way. And they do little small things like this. How you do it? Because most people don't really go out. When you go into a lot of these small businesses in Donville, this is crazy because I see it up to now. Yeah. Because I'm gonna say right now, if you go into a black business, right, and and I'm not trying to say most black businesses are Democrat. You hear a lot of Democratical talk right now, right? Because a lot of people
we were taught that though.
No, you know what I'm saying, Trev? You hear a lot of that talk when you go into a white more establishment. And I'm not saying that you hear a lot of Republican talk. As time has gone now, that demographic is now changing. Before, it's not white people are not just only Republicans. I just want to so I can blow everybody's mind on that. Yeah, you right? Just as much that not white people are not the only Republicans, black people are not the only Democrats. It's mixed throughout all that variety. But when you go into specific establishments, you will get that treatment. You get what I'm saying? And small business push that narrative because what small business does, it creates small coalitions of people who think the same way. Like-minded people like to hang out with like-minded people. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm going to use Facebook because I'm tired of Facebook. Facebook got to go for me. You know what I mean?
You could just delete it.
You know what I'm saying?
Facebook, we go on there.
On the real, Facebook got to go, right? But in the sense that you watch the same group of a coalition of people comment on the same thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And you're and I sit there and look at it and I'm like, wow, you can see where they're growing their demographic. I know where they stand. Right? And you see where the other people's demographics stand because they find small areas to congregate. And this is where the narrative got pushed. I wouldn't say this. A lot of people was like, yeah, they didn't know white people was going to vote for Trump. I didn't know white people was going to vote for Trump. They said it. They just didn't say it out loud. They just looked at it and was like, yo, we just don't want no more nobody who represent anything Obama did back in office. Mm-hmm. That's how they said it so sweetly. Anything that he represented in office got to go. Mm. Right? And I was sitting there, I was like, man, you guys, this is how this is going?
Yeah, but why was it? Okay, I'm
No, I mean,
why did black people take it personal when Obama was criticized for things that he probably deserved to be criticized?
No, that's fact. That is fact. I would say this.
And I think that just mess. I don't know. It's like a glitch in the matrix. Something that's messed.
No, it is a glitch in the matrix.
To vote for Hillary Clinton. Like
I know, Donville. That is true. Donville, I want to say this, and this is the reason why.
I think that's a double-edged sword. By the same reason why we were so hurt when people went at Obama.
Yes.
That we thinking, he can't do no wrong. Yeah, the man's still human.
It is. That's correct.
The same love that we sent towards Obama is the reason why we got so upset when George Floyd got killed.
Yes.
Because we care about each other. Then when we hear someone else talk about them, I'm like, oh, no, you didn't. Like,
yeah, but we got to get out of that.
But Donville, I want to say this.
Because this is something that was... Obama did things that were detrimental to black people.
It was, but I want to say it's Donville.
Like, straight up. Like, more white people became rich because of
Obama
did.
No, that is fact.
And then, like, he did give away Obama phones.
Yo, he did give away
How
Obama.
did that help the black community?
It did not. I will say this. I had, I think my wife's grandmother got the Obama phone. Right? And it helped her because it was a phone bill that we didn't have to pay. It was paid for. And all of her we call it her hospital needs, and then the hospital, the doctor, the little vehicle stuff that comes and pick her up. Yeah. We just basically cater it towards that number. You know what I'm saying? So it technically didn't help young black people. It helped elderly black people who technically didn't have to pay a cell phone bill. I want to just issue that part.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you why black people didn't support Hillary Clinton. Yeah, I'm just gonna tell you what.
You tell the people I know.
No, I'm gonna tell you why. Hillary ran against Obama. All right, I want you to remember that. You see, there's one thing. You see, when people understand you stink, right? From the last time we smelt you, it's not easy for everybody to see the same stench and turn their nose upside. Some people can't do it. This is the reason why not everybody can work in a hospital. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, we all want to help people, Trev. Mm-hmm. But how many people are going to go in there, put that scrub on, and go deal with that stinkness that goes on in the hospital smell? Mm-hmm. I can't do it. Some people can. And to me, that's what voting for Hillary was. It's that stench that you're like, you know what? Can I hold my nose? Can I clip my nose?
You're going to have to close your eyes and everything.
No, but Donville, that's what happened. Yeah. A lot of people looked at it as the same way they look at the nursing field. Like, I love helping people, guys, but I can't go to that field.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And that's why she didn't get the vote. So, and right now, not to tell you anything, I can't push a narrative for Biden because I feel like Biden systematically, it's been proven, has helped destroy a lot of black lives. So, I'm gonna need an independent to come out of somewhere that makes me feel like, you know what, there's somebody worth voting for. And I don't want to push a narrative, guys. You guys vote for, we want to vote for Democrat or Republican.
Man, we want to vote for. I just say stop being a sheep, man.
No, but
you part of the One Pop podcast. You listen to us, man. Yeah. You don't believe in that foolishness. Like,
that's for real.
You got to have your own. Yeah, educate yourself.
Educate that boy.
Knowledge, man, and like make a sound decision based on how you feel
and your interest.
What I can't respect is you just going on what Don Lemon says. No offense to Don Lemon, or what CNN says.
Yeah,
like we can't continue to do that. That is detrimental to the black community.
Yeah.
Yo, okay, so let's get away from this politics, right?
Go.
So, I want to know what y'all feel about this, and this is. I think because a lot of the protests that was happening, and now a lot of the businesses out there is like taking knowledge of what's going on. So you see the ones that's in big support out of nowhere, and there's ones that's at least making like a little statement. So you got Starbucks. Well, first they were against people or their employees wearing Black Lives Matter attire. Because it could promote political or harmful message, right?
Yep.
Then they took that statement back maybe a day after, or maybe
that same energy.
Yeah, it was fast, right?
That same energy.
So that one, I don't know. That was I'll put that the same as Drew Brees. Drew Brees came out of
that same energy.
You came out of nowhere saying, even though let's even go further back. You were kneeling with Kaepernick.
That's correct.
Yeah. Right? Then you came out with a statement that says you don't disrespect the flag. when you then now you're saying
I've talked to my peers.
I talked to my peers because someone was to cuss him out.
No, he got cussed out by a lot of people.
Like
Shannon talked to him, Trev.
Someone, yeah, and he just couldn't take it no more. But anyway, he coming back out now saying he first denounced whatever Trump said in agreement with him and saying we're now that what the whole the political statement is not about the flag, it's about police brutality, which was like, then why did you come up with that statement?
Well, Trev, hold on, because I want to help Drew Brees' narrative for a second. I do not want to. He is wrong for what he said, but you can't take sometimes. Not saying he didn't understand the weight. He did understand the weight, but he's standing for his cause is a little bit tense right now, and I want to say this. This is where a lot of this fight gets a little bit dirty. A lot of people feel the way that they feel because they have police officers in their family, in their lives, people who have served, who military served. Drew Brees, I think grandfather and great grandfather and grandfather, right, were both militants.
Yeah, they were in the World War.
They were in different wars. Yes, they were in different wars. Yeah. So, in the sense that whenever a lot of people see what is going on with the police, right? They're like, you know what? I really don't stand because I know good people that serve, right? And when he said when he spoke to his counterparts and they educate him, right? He wants to retract the statement, and I'm not saying the statement shouldn't be retracted. I think the statement, this is what needs to be happening, because what is going on, Trev? A lot of people is uneducated about what's really going on, and not to publicize him. Sometimes we need martyrs, and I'm not saying Drew Brees is a martyr, right? But sometimes we need some of these people to speak out so they can be properly addressed and be educated, and we need some of these public figures to be educated this way, so the small people who follow their narrative can be educated as well, right? And yes, it is a two-sided sword, Trev. Yeah, some people's gonna be like, oh, they should have left. I don't want to care what they're saying, but what we're focusing on, right? Which we like to call them the undecided, is the people who didn't understand the narrative, who will take the time after he gets educated to be like, you know what? I may got educated in that small moment. Yeah. Because I've realized it's the uneducated people, right? It's crazy. The uneducated people are fighting a lot of the battles. Yeah. This is the sad part. And I'm very big. This is the reason why when a lot of these information come out, I like to sit and watch first, because I can't play checkers with it. I'm not trying to take pieces just to take pieces. That's how you lose a checkers match, right? I look at a checkers match like I'm playing chess. If they take that one piece right here, I need to take 4 of his pieces. So before I'm gonna make that move, I need to sit here and watch and see what this fool's gonna do. And that's what I call the media, the fool. You feel what I'm saying? I let all the narrative get pushed, and then I make my own personal educated decision with my research. Because, all right, guys, just before I get anything, Robert Fuller, guys, please. I mean, I know this is up for an investigation, right? Because I don't want to get too deep in it. They found homeboy hang. They're saying that it's labeled a suicide. I personally feel like his body was too much in a place of very significant value to be placed as a suicide right there, or is either that or he was trying to kill himself at a specific location to prove a point. So
it's a lynching.
Downville, I personally feel it's a lynching because it's not recorded. The narrative can get pushed anyway, and this is what the media does. So I wanted to properly investigate the information, and then we can go from there. That's where the next protest has started right now. They already started protesting for that. Yeah. So I want to make sure, guys, these are the things that's very detrimental. But it's constantly been proven that people got to be educated. Yeah. It has to be educated, because I'm gonna say this, and I talked about this last week when I spoke to my old coworker, talking about how she treated me as a black individual and her being a white individual. They need to start understanding that spectrum. If you don't understand somebody's hurt, right? And I say this, and I want to say this to every color, especially white people. And personally, I can't speak for every black person, so please don't take this the wrong way. I would hate for you to experience what I personally experienced as a black man. I would not wish that on your race. Because for you to witness and to feel what we felt, you will know what a small genocide feels like. And a genocide doesn't have to be a physical genocide. It's a mental genocide, because black people are mentally dying based on the situation in so many different ways. So I will hate for anyone you guys' generation to go through the same genocide that we do. But what we're trying to get from you guys is for you guys to help stop the genocide that's going to continue to go on in future generation if we don't put a stop to this right now. Yeah. I'm gonna need y'all to understand that. That's all we're asking. I'm not asking you guys to go out there and protest and do it. All we're saying is that we want you guys to understand what we're fighting for. And if you really say all life matter, if you're really 110% say all life matter, you're standing on the wrong side of the platform. Right? Because come animal rights time, you're gonna want us to come fight with you too, right?
Yeah.
Right? You feel me? I understand that gun legislation need to get passed, but I'm a very big and owning your machine. And I know you're gonna want us to stand with you on gun laws, right? You get what I'm saying? In different ways. So if you think those small, and the thing is, these narratives are fought for so hard, but when we have to fight for somebody's life, it's so understandable. And I'm not evading from this because this is too hot. For y'all people who's upset about the Confederate flag being taken out of NASCAR, I'm sorry guys, it has to go.
We need to promote the NASCAR driver though.
No, we
because I'm like, you need support because we didn't even know you were there. So like,
the one who's driving the black guy.
Yeah, okay. Black guy. Like, so we need support because I didn't know what his name was, but I'm glad he had a Black Lives Matter car. Yeah, but I'm sorry. The amount of KKK members is going to be pissed now.
Oh, they're pissed. They're upset because they said it's in heritage, right? And I want to understand. And I'm gonna say this now, black people. This is where I'm gonna take some heat, Downville. I'm gonna take all the heat for this one. Away from Trevor, away from Don. This is all me. Black people, we take the People's Confederate flag. All the pro black flags that we like to rock, we're gonna lose that too.
What are you talking about?
No. I want to make sure I say that.
We have a flag?
No, we don't.
We, as black people, we've never gone to war against the country.
I know.
The Confederate flag.
I know that, Donville.
Then what are you saying?
No, that's this is the reason why I wanted to isolate you guys away from this conversation. Because and I'm saying this because of what I've been seeing since this conversation has been happening. These are things, and I'm stating this because this is what's being posted. I know. Donville, I know when I said that it would have caught you the way. That's the reason why I said what I said first.
So why just to say
no? And I want you to say it because this is what they're gonna fight for. I technically do not walk around with a pro black flag, right? Okay. You know, like the African symbol, or whichever pro black symbol that we think is important. I don't know
what that flag is. The flag that I have is the one that Marcus Garvey
had, right?
Yeah, the Pan African flag.
The Pan African flag. But I want you to understand, some black people have different ways for symbolism.
Yeah.
And for what I've understand and what I've seen, a lot of people is talking about, and they're very strong opinionated about this. This is the reason why I want to address it the way it is, right? And I want to address it at the nastiest meat of the issue. It's not clean. It's dirty. But the way that these people are reacting to this thing is that because we're taking their Confederate flag, they posted like probably like 6 or 7, and I've seen consecutively, right?
Yeah.
About different like black images, that little flags that some black people.
It doesn't matter, Cien. The Confederate went to war against the United States and lost. If you know that, then you know that black people have not gone to war against the United States and lost the war.
I understand that.
Therefore, it is valid for the flag and the monuments to be removed.
Yes. I'm not talking.
This has nothing. You're correlating things that I don't want you to entertain that argument, because that argument makes no sense.
No, it's not even entertaining, Donville. I'm just telling you. I'm pointing it out, right? Because it's something that I'm seeing consistently.
Okay, so we see a lot of things consistently. Fight against it because
the
argument makes no sense.
No, well, now I'm saying this is because, example, as I said, I do not walk around with any. I don't walk around with the flag. The only flag I have on my arm, guys, is my Jamaican flag. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's I bled this. That's my little thing. But I'm just telling you, right? For example, Dan,
you're telling me what they might do.
No, I'm telling you what they're saying because
but what they're right. You're telling me what they're saying.
For example,
what they're saying.
You're
entertaining an argument that makes no sense, and you're giving it power.
Well, hold on. All right, so I'm gonna give you. This is what's it? Today's Saturday, right?
Yeah.
I think it was on Thursday. I was driving. you know the biker guys, the one that has their Confederate flag, right? So
patches and all that.
The patches on it. So pull up to homie next to the light, and he looked over me, and I saw his patches, right?
Yeah.
And he looked over me, and he goes, "Yo, y'all think y'all gonna take my flag? Let me see anyone y'all with a flag. If y'all take my flag." And I looked over at him, and I turned my music up and laughed, because to me that was somebody that was trying to pull me out of my car, right? And wanted me to overreact to something, which I didn't have time, because in my mind, I looked over at him and was like, you know what, dog? I think you're trying to send me to jail, because technically, if I would have followed my emotions, I would have got up my car and me and him would have went at it. And I sat there and I thought to myself, and then I'm gonna say this: I was a sheep in this matter. I ended up going online, right? And I realized that a lot of these people, right, about this flag, because to me, I really don't care about the whole flag thing. Like, the monuments has to go. I want to say I'm strongly believing that because of what they represent. But a lot of these people, right, especially in our local area, Downville, is very heavily pressured and feel a specific way about this flag thing. And I'm looking at it, and I'm not saying probably because of the area that we're associated with right now, right? Yeah. They're the amount of passion and stuff that they're posting, and I'm like, yo, you people took this flag thing a little bit serious. Like, you don't understand why it has to go. Like, Downville, you know where it got to go. I know where it got to go, right?
The only other flag that's recognized to the extent of the American flag, of the Confederate flag, is the American flag.
That's correct.
So I'm not saying that when I have my Pan-African flag, it replaces the American flag. Like, no, I'm American. I paid for my citizenship. I was sworn in as an American. It's the American flag that we all represent, right?
Yes.
So why? It's like saying go to Nazi Germany seeing a Nazi flag.
No.
That is insane. That's insane.
Because Germany has outlawed the Nazi flag. You can't fly that flag.
And that's what we need to do.
And that's what we're doing. But I want you to remember, Downville,
there's no buts about it.
Wait, hold on.
These people live in the United States of America. If any flag needs to be flown, it needs to be the United States flag of American flag. That's it.
So, and Downville,
it's that simple.
But Downville,
forget about taking away. You're giving them power by saying, oh, they can take away your Pan. No, they can't, because the Pan-African flag does not represent a country.
I understand that.
It represents an ideology. If they want to take that away, then go ahead. But the fact of the matter is that they need to fly the American flag, and that's it.
I mean, and Downville, I'm gonna say this: Black people don't drive around with a flag with a Pan American flag on their car. No, we don't. We want to say this.
A lot of them got the education that Marvin's Garden was like a terrorist. Remember, like, they were miseducated.
So, Downville, in the sense, it to me, I want to say it's just to clarify, that's their way of reaching. It is
that flag will be taken down.
It is going to
statues with their heads chopped off and thrown in the.
It's going to be going on.
You know what's next? That should be gone.
What?
Columbus Day.
Oh yeah.
That should be gone right now.
All right, so guys, I'm burning up. This is from a Jamaican perspective. Yeah. I'm burning a personal fire for Mr. Columbus on him day, because Columbus ain't discovered nothing. He ain't discovered Jamaica. You right? He ain't discovered no Turtle Rock.
We already talked about that.
You feel what I'm saying? So you know that's something different. So we're burning a personal fire, and a lot of I think history needs to get rewritten.
Yeah. The same is, like, you know what? Like, years ago, I thought about how, you know how Thanksgiving, their narrative of Thanksgiving has kind of changed into more of a shopping holiday?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's make that a shopping holiday, but just for black businesses, for at least for our culture.
Yeah.
Support black businesses on Black Friday. That should be just the main focus on Thanksgiving now.
Boy.
Because we know the history of Thanksgiving. I mean, people got pillaged, people got raped, people got murdered.
Yeah.
And yet we all eating turkey dinner.
I'm gonna say this. I really don't call it Thanksgiving. I call it Indian killer. On some realness. I really don't. You know, I'm not gonna lie. I'm guilty of eating the food. You know what I mean? I'll go there.
To me, like, I take it as a family
gathering,
family dinner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But to give it the Thanksgiving name, that should be taken away too.
Yeah.
That should be called something else. At least in memorial to the tribes that were murdered and killed, to the almost the wipe out of a whole race of people.
Yeah.
Like, we can't keep celebrating in the same way or teaching the kids that, oh, it's just a turkey or it's just pilgrims and Indians. They're just going to get together, eat some food, and they go about their business. But, before we split too, I got to bring up, what is y'all thoughts about Grammys change? I don't know if y'all know the different categories, but the Grammys change urban contemporary genre reward to progressive R&B now, because they're trying to get rid of the term urban.
Now. Yeah, I was confused about that. I was like, wait, what?
Well, because it was an isolated category.
It was because you know, if you look onto the radio stations, to the any like big network, the way they bring us into the picture, they call it urban.
Yeah.
So now but they didn't get the okay from black people to say call us urban,
because you're calling it innocent. You call it. How do I want to say? Because the word urban would have in their term,
ghetto.
Right?
Ghetto, right? Basically,
ghetto music.
Ghetto.
Just because it's coming from a black person and all of a sudden it's urban.
It's urban.
Like, no, it's music.
Because look at music. Like, how come we can't succeed on the pop charts when our music is pop?
Yeah,
exactly.
We run music.
We created that genre for them.
Yeah. So it's like, it was about time to my opinion, this was about time urban, contemporary, and other terms in the future, urban is disappearing.
Yes.
Because it made no sense in the first place. You know what I mean?
True.
You know, so guys, I want to make sure her name would not be silenced. I mean, we need to make sure her story is being heard. I am a husband. I am also a father. I stay in my house, and I would hate to be home and have someone mistaken my house for the wrong house,
right?
And decide to hurt my family in any form or shape.
Yeah.
Breonna Taylor, please, guys, that needs to get taken care of.
Yeah.
Now, guys, before we wrap up, is there anything else you guys want to throw out there in the sauce before we chop it up and cook it?
I'm putting statues down, yo. I'm all for it.
All right.
Breonna Taylor needs to be highlighted.
Yes.
Every case out there needs to be that was acquitted.
Yes.
My personal opinion. I don't know if after acquitted, you can't be reopened.
You can.
Yeah,
it can.
Nah. Oh.
Well,
I mean,
the case can't
not
get
the same charge. You could get other charges, but
No, you can't be reopened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the same charge. No, you can't.
Well, Donovan, you know what? That is
Check Janelle.
Yes,
no. I'm going to talk general.
This is a good conversation, guys. I'm gonna get my legal source.
Sorry. Also, JoJo too.
Okay, yes.
I don't know if she passed the bar yet.
No, she's taking the bar. So I want.
Shout out to her too.
Shout out to JoJo.
Right.
And JoJo and all the young black entrepreneurs out there. I want to make sure I give that clout. So guys, I guess I'm gonna leave with a positive thought. I want to start with that saying this. It's crazy because it's not saying I don't have anything positive to say. You know what I mean? I think it's more self-enlightenment in the sense that a lot of us feel alone in our mental space, right? And being alone doesn't mean that you're by yourself. You can find ways to get your voice out. You know what I mean? You got to let people take that knee off your neck, that hand off your throat so you can breathe and speak. So in this moment, guys, if you have any information inside of your heart that needs to get out, get with your personal individual who you have any grievance with and hash that out. You know what I mean? Because divided we fall, together we stand. One Pod Podcast. We out.